Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. So today I wanted to point out one thing that I feel has not been confirmed with Gotham Knights that I think the community will be very happy to hear some confirmation about this. Now, it's a very small aspect, but I feel like it will play a very big role when this game comes out and when we start to put things all in perspective. And that is the cross-platform setup of this game. So for those of you who don't know, Gotham Knights is a Batman-themed game that's being developed by Warner Brothers Games Montreal that's going to be released on the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. So it's going to be cross-platform in the sense that it's going to be released on two platforms because the next gen is going to be some sort of a gradient of game releases, and we're not going to have true next gens for a while. And the thing about this game is it's also going to be a co-op game. It's going to have a co-op aspect of the game. But one thing has not been confirmed, and that is how the multiplayer co-op is going to work in its bigger specifics. So what I mean is, if they're going to have a multiplayer aspect, are we going to have a cross-platform where people on the Xbox ecosystem can play with people on the PlayStation ecosystem? Is that something on the table? Or are people from the PlayStation 4 going to be able to play with people on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox One and Xbox Series X as, you know, that goes into play? From reading this article that was written on August 22nd, this is a Game Rant article titled Gotham Knights Features Co-op Gameplay. They said that, in the article, somewhere around that, they're talking about how this co-op multiplayer is actually going to be here. But it does say, though, that there has been no confirmation on how this is basically going to work. So this is where, that cross-platform aspect comes into play. If you look at this paragraph here, it says there may or may not be other limitations on Gotham Knights multiplayer functionality as details provided are relatively scant. For example, it is unclear whether Gotham Knights will support cross-platform play, even cross-generation play, since it's coming out on both PS4, Xbox One, and PS5, Xbox Series X. It will require online, which isn't a surprise, but there's no word on whether there will be matchmaking or anything of the like. And I feel like Warner Brothers Games Montreal needs to come out and confirm this one thing in order to put fans' minds at rest. Yes, it does seem like it's a little trivial, but if they put a multiplayer aspect on the game, then there's something that they're going for. They're most likely going for a community type oriented gameplay in order to be able to continue to serve that community and grow the game by leaps and bounds. And what I mean by that is not necessarily as a games as a service. They have said that games as a service is not necessarily something that they want to put in the game. And let's not always categorize all multiplayer aspects as games as a service. That's something that we have to be careful to do, because Ghost of Tsushima is getting a multiplayer, but we're not calling it games as a service, if you get what I mean. So I think we're going to see a similarity with that kind of implementation and this game, except that this game is going to be two-player limited. And so they're bringing out this game, they're bringing out a two-player aspect that brings multiple players in touch with one another. So you and a friend, you and a family member, you and an acquaintance, or you or somebody that maybe have just match made in a Discord group could run some missions if somebody wanted to help you and all of that. And this starts to create a community-based game. And I think that's exactly what they want to do. If you go back and look at some of the job listings for community managers, some of the specifics pointed out that they wanted somebody who was able to bring the community together in order for them to be able to, allow for players and get players excited to log in the game every day. So perhaps having events, having maybe multiplayer events, maybe get a friend, matchmake, all this stuff. Perhaps these are things on the horizon that they want to do, but I can also understand that the game right now is still in the early onset of its announcement, and they may be wanting to keep a lot of the information to themselves, because who knows, this whole co-op thing could also be expanded. It could be expanded to a 4-player co-op thing. Now, it pains me to somewhat say it, because the last 4-player co-op superhero implementation was not necessarily embraced by all fans. I'm speaking of Marvel Avengers, but who knows, Warner Brothers Games Montreal might be able to do a better job in this case. They're not against, or they're not new to doing multiplayer. They did the multiplayer for Arkham Origins, so there is a little bit of trust that the community has with them handling something like this. but at least they have to confirm how this functionality will work, because I feel like it'll allow for fans to be hyped. I feel like it will give fans more clarity, and people who may have one console and are looking to see if they wanted to purchase the other console, meaning maybe PS4 players wanting to buy a PS5, or maybe Xbox One players wanting to buy a Series X, they can make up their minds, and know where they want to play and who they're going to play with, or at least be aware that they may or may not be able to play with some of their friends once they move through the generations. But in my honest opinion, I feel like if this game were to come out on PS4 and PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox One X, there will be at least cross-generation gameplay. So I think the PS4 people and the PS5 people should be able to play together, and the Xbox One folk and the Xbox Series X folk should also be able to play together, because many games are going to be supporting this. We have a lot of examples out there. So I feel like that's somewhere that they can take, an example from. But until we hear from their mouths, there is nothing that we can confirm right now, and we're still being left hanging in the balance. So that's pretty much my own take on this. I just wanted to make sure that this is something that we clarified. I also want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Are you excited about this? Is this something that's a lingering question or just a non-issue for you? Let me hear in the comment section, and hopefully we'll see in another video. Thank you very much for your time and audience. Peace out.